So this certainly does not look good. We've got an active war situation going on between Israel and Iran. So let's talk about that today. Netanyahu just came out with a statement, so let's watch that. We'll watch some of the drone footage, and then we'll talk about the historical background or the animosity of these two particular countries. They were the kind of the bestest of friends for a while, and then not so much kind of friends of convenience once they were, everybody was against Iraq and Saddam Hussein. And then once that ended, they kind of went back to not being so much friendly. So let's talk about all of that today. We'll go through everything, keep you all up to date on exactly what's going on in the Middle East. So let's listen to the official statement by the leader
Ago,
Israel.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. Hardest decision any before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed, never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. Generations from now, history will record that our generation stood its ground, acted in time, and secured our common future. May God bless Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization everywhere. Thank you.
All right. He was, hey, if you need help with Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D plans, make sure you reach out to my partners at Chapter Medicare. I looked for a place that would help you all out, and Chapter Medicare knocked it out of the park. They've got excellent customer service. They look at every single plan in your area, and their help is always 100% free. Give them a call, and they'll see if they can help you out, and tell them Dr. Ed said hi. Wanted to
今回
make
の都
sure
議選
people
には
didn't
42の選挙
confuse the idea that Israel was necessarily against the Iranian people. It's the administration of Iran. Essentially, once it was taken over by Ayatollah Khomeini in 1979, after the Shah was deposed, that's the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they've had issues essentially since that time. But actually, they kind of played nice while Iran was fighting Iraq. The Israelis, and remember the old Iran-Contra affair, that we actually supported Iran. Israel gave weapons to Iran because Saddam Hussein, everybody believed, was more of a threat. So we supported Iran during that time with their fight with Iraq. That lasted a long time. But as soon as Saddam Hussein was gone there, then everybody kind of turned their attention to the new government in Iran. And he kind of makes the point that, again, this is not a Samuel Huntington clash of civilizations type of battle out there. This is not necessarily the Jewish state or the West against Islam itself. Because one of the things that we also have to remember is, the largest Islamic country in the world is Indonesia. And then the second largest in terms of Muslims is India itself. Still has a lot of Muslims in India, even though it broke apart with Pakistan many decades ago. So this is just that particular political administration of Iran that they believe does not and should not have nuclear weapons. And they want Iranian people, the ancient Persia, the Iranian people, to rise up and take over the government and make it more into the international community. All right, let's see some other clips here. All right, we'll cut that part out. All right, so that seems to be the major focus, is obviously the nuclear sites. Let's check out some of the actual footage. And in response, Iran is sending drones. Seems to be the new focus of the military nowadays is drones. We've had a drone program in the United States for a long time, kind of manually controlled, remotely controlled drones that we've used for a long time. But these new technology, this new drone system is definitely above and beyond what we've ever had before. Got some actual footage here. So they specifically targeted the nuclear research facilities in Iran. That just happened relatively recently. So we're going to see a major escalation once Iran continues more than just drones. And they have been sending missiles, and the United States has gotten involved in taking down those missiles. So there's been some reports of missiles coming from Iran, not just drones, but actual missiles. And U.S. technology, the U.S. military has helped Israel knock down those missiles. So the U.S. military is involved in this. So we shall see exactly how this is going to escalate. And I'm going to keep up on this on a regular basis, because I think this is important enough. I'm not only a former manager of the Social Security Administration, where I help people with all Social Security. I help them out on a daily basis with all that. But I'm also a former sergeant in the Marine Corps. So this is important things going on. And anytime anything like this happens, remote missiles and drones and firing big guns from naval, armadas off of Iran, or whatever the case may be. But as soon as actual military go in there, it's my former Marines, it's my Marines that go in there first, always the first to fight. So we want to make sure that if anything like this happens, that America gets in there and we do it right. And hopefully we don't get in there, we don't send in the Marines. Hopefully we can de-escalate this situation. And the Iranian people, the Israeli people decide to come together and put aside their differences, and hopefully everything is de-escalated. But I will keep up on this. Make sure you subscribe and like and share this information. And as usual, I will go back to, on a regular basis, answering any questions you have about Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, Medicaid.